Friends, at the beginning of the story, we see a man stuck in a car in a deserted jungle. Upon observation, it becomes evident that his car had been in a severe accident not too long ago, leaving him injured. His face is bruised, and his leg is trapped and pinned under the car's dashboard, rendering him immobile. When he turns around to look behind him, he spots a lifeless body, which leaves him utterly bewildered as he struggles to understand who this person could be. As he glances outside for help, a bit farther away, another lifeless body comes into view. He strains his mind to recall what has happened to him and who these people are, but the impact of the accident has taken a toll on his memory, leaving him in a state of confusion. He doesn't even know his real name. This story will tug at your heartstrings because you will empathize with every moment this man experiences, when despite being on the brink of death, he manages to survive. Friends, this story is bound to be quite intriguing, so stay with us till the end, because by the conclusion of the story, you will find out who this man is and what has happened to him. Now, we are shown the man again, where we come to know that he survived simply because he had fastened his seatbelt. He cries and shouts to get help, but unfortunately, there was no one around to assist him. Afterward, he checks his pockets and finds some loose change. After a thorough search, he discovers a flashlight and matches on the car's dashboard, which were perhaps of no use to him. He feels that if he doesn't attempt something, he will die right there soon. After a while, evening falls, and rain starts. Due to the rain, he manages to find water to quench his thirst, but the weather becomes quite cold, and he starts feeling cold. With no other options, he takes off the clothes from the dead body nearby and wears them to keep warm before falling asleep. The next morning is still cold, and he tries to leave the area, but due to his leg being trapped in the car's dashboard, he can't move. Thus, he sits there and tries to do small tasks. Now, hunger strikes, but apart from the dead body nearby, he has nothing to eat. He doesn't even know whose body it is. He checks his pockets and finds a license, revealing the name George. He speculates that this person might have been his friend and cancels his plans to eat the body. However, sooner or later, he knows he will have to resort to eating the dead body out of hunger. And so, the day passes hungrily and night falls. He feels someone might be watching him from behind, but upon looking, there's no one. The third day arrives, and now he's hit with extreme hunger. He can't bear the hunger, yet his mind is still not ready to eat George. He senses that someone might be watching him again, but he ignores it, thinking it's just his imagination. But this time, someone is indeed watching him from behind, and who that is will be revealed in the video ahead. At that moment, he notices a mint under the car seat. He tries hard to reach for it, but the mint remains out of his grasp. However, beneath the car seat, he spots a gun, which makes him wonder how the gun ended up there. Looking at the gun, he contemplates shooting himself instead of dying from hunger. Lost in these thoughts, he falls asleep with teary eyes. Suddenly, a miracle happens. A girl appears in the distance. Seeing her, he becomes happy. The girl approaches him, offering water to drink and some food to eat. Overwhelmed, the man starts crying, but the girl assures him that she's here to help and will fix everything. Just then, a twist occurs in the story, and his eyes open. He realizes it was just a dream. After 3 days of starvation, his senses were playing tricks on him. The man once again gets the feeling that someone might be watching him, but again, no one is there. However, a bear is seen devouring a corpse nearby. The sight of the bear eating the body disturbs him. To protect what he thinks is his friend's body, he fires a gunshot, scaring the bear away. Then, he believes he sees the girl from his dream sitting next to him, but when he looks closely, she disappears. The story takes another twist. Who is this girl? And why does she keep appearing? These questions will be answered ahead. Another night passes, and the next day his life is slipping away due to hunger. Just then, he sees an ant and eats it, hoping it might curb his hunger, but it has no effect. Now, he began to feel that his end was approaching, so he started hitting his hands and feet in frustration. This caused the car's gate to open, and he stumbled out in anger. His leg bones were shattered, preventing him from walking. After coming out, he searched the car for something and finds a card inside with the name Remand Place written on it. He wonders who Remand Place is. Just then, the girl sitting in the car tells him that he is Remand. This is when he realizes his name is Remand. Afterward, he tries to wrap clothing around his injured foot to ease the pain. He then turns on the radio and starts listening. He learns that a major bank robbery occurred a few days ago, involving 3 people named George, Remand, and Erics. These 3 shot a girl and fled. The girl died on the spot. He realizes that his friends were involved in the bank robbery, and on their way, they had an accident. Only Remand survived. However, a shocking twist is about to unfold, a twist that he could never have anticipated. As he is inspecting the back of the car, he notices a bag filled with money. But for now, it's of no use to him because he's currently starving and can't eat money. However, a powerful twist is about to come, something you wouldn't have imagined. Now, running uphill, he reaches the mountainside where he finds the body of his friend Eric's. He sees that Eric's body has been badly eaten by bears. This sight disgusts him, and once again, due to hunger, he faints right there. At this point, he realizes that he needs to eat under any circumstances. However, when he opens his eyes, he sees that a man is robbing a car of its money. He quickly points a gun at the man, but the man has an even bigger gun. The man offers to spare his life in exchange for all the money, but he ignores him and flees after stealing all the money. Remand looks down and sees that a bag of money is still intact. He saves himself from the cold by setting the money on fire and warming himself. Just then, he finds a mint candy, which he eats, but after eating, he realizes he doesn't actually like mints. After a while, he comes across a dog. This triggers a childhood memory of his own dog. It's clear that his memory is gradually returning. He notices the same girl sitting beside him again, the one he had seen before during the bank robbery. He thinks that she might be the same girl he had injured during the robbery. Just then, a cougar arrives, takes George's body, and dashes away, scaring Remand. He starts to feel that he won't survive much longer here, so he tries to escape through the same path he used when he came as a thief. He now has the dog he encountered earlier, the one he used to light the fire, and the girl is watching him from behind. He decides to move forward and finds a bag on the path. Inside it, there's some food and a painkiller. This bag feels like a miracle to him. After eating, he feels a bit relieved and continues onward. He then sees a cave which reveals a mobile phone, but unfortunately, he can't use it due to no network. It becomes clear that this mobile phone belongs to the same thief who had stolen money from the car. The thief hadn't gone far, as he had encountered the cougar. The cougar had taken him to the cave and dealt with him. The bag Remand found with food and drink was also the thief's. When he walks a little further, he spots a river, where he quenches his thirst by drinking plenty of water and satisfies his hunger by eating various insects. His dog is with him, and they both have a lot of fun together, making him feel motivated by the dog's presence to move forward. On the other side of the river, he sees the same girl. He attempts to cross the river to reach her, but the current is too strong, causing him to get carried away by the river. After traveling quite a distance, he manages to stop near the shore. Due to being swept away by the river, he has lost track of the path, so he sits down there. After a while, heavy rain starts. He waits there, in the rain, for the rain's currency. Suddenly, a group of people with flashlights appears, the same people the girl had brought along. But after a moment, they all disappear. He realizes that it was also his imagination. The next morning, when he opens his eyes, he sees the same dog near him again. But his heart breaks when he realizes that the dog has come back to the exact same place he started from. Feeling helpless and defeated, he collapses there and starts crying out loud. Due to being swept away by the river, he had not only lost his path but also had no idea where to go and what to do next. Now, the same girl appears again, but this time he isn't going to let her go. He thinks she doesn't want him to leave this place, so he grabs her, chokes her, and eventually kills her. He feels no remorse for killing her. Instead, he feels the urge to get out of there. After a while, darkness falls, and he spends his night near the same car. The next morning, he starts ascending upwards with renewed energy. After putting in a lot of effort, he manages to reach the top. However, even after reaching the top, he doesn't find anything, and now his painkillers are also depleted. He loses hope and decides to let himself die, as he no longer has the energy to do anything. Just then, he sees the dog again, gazing towards a certain path. Looking in that direction, he realizes it's a road, and he follows the path indicated by the dog. Finally, he succeeds and reaches that road. However, there he discovers a dead body with a bag of money. Seeing this man, he wonders who he is. But when he checks the man's pocket, the biggest secret is unveiled right in front of him. He learns that the man's name is Remand Placey, and suddenly everything becomes clear to him. He realizes that this man is not the thief but a victim. He recalls everything that happened when he was coming out of a shop. 3 thieves, who had just robbed a bank, kidnapped him and made him a hostage. The girl he had seen repeatedly wasn't someone else, she was his own wife waiting outside the shop. She shouted and asked for help to stop the thieves, but no one came to her aid. And the girl he had supposedly killed in the jungle was just his misunderstanding, as his wife was still alive. Then, the cougar appears again. This time, he throws the real Remand's body in front of the cougar, who takes it and leaves. Now, he no longer fears anything because he considers himself a thief, although in reality, he wasn't. After that, he takes out his phone and finds that he has network coverage. He's delighted to see this and immediately calls the police. Shortly after, the police arrive, and he gets into the car. He tells the officer that he'll take the dog with him, but the officer informs him that there was no dog there. We come to know that the dog was just his imagination, helping him find a way out. With this revelation, we also learn that when the thieves were kidnapping him, he turned the car's steering wheel while wearing his seatbelt, causing a crash that killed all the thieves. He survived due to the seatbelt, and thus, this